So here's a great labor story, forced labor story from the Democratic Joe Biden's administration. Now, remember, you had to vote for Joe Biden or else you're a bad person because Donald Trump was mean to immigrants. Even though Donald Trump deported about half as many as Barack Obama and Joe Biden did. Did you know Joe Biden and Barack Obama deported almost double the amount of Hispanics than Donald Trump did? Did you know that? You don't know that. Now you do. Just as I predicted. Just as I predicted that, by the way. That Donald Trump would put a horrible face on the horrible shit that the United States government has been doing all along. And so when Donald Trump got in office, all the people were like, oh, wait, our immigration policy is pretty freaking draconian. We're putting people in cages that Barack Obama built and Joe Biden built. And so then they got aware of it because Donald Trump was president and local law enforcement stopped coordinating with Donald Trump. And so he was only able to deport about half as many as Hispanics as Barack Obama did. Isn't that interesting? Well, here he is again. Joe Biden says we're getting America back on track. Really? Well, guess what? Biden's budget increases ICE funding over Trump's budget by $18 million. That is a $1.5 billion over Obama's budget. All sent to help thugs abuse and traumatize immigrants fleeing pain and suffering the U.S. helped create in Latin America. Wow, we're really moving forward as an. Don't you feel like a good person now? Do you remember when the executive producer of The Simpsons, who knows nothing about popular culture, yet he's the executive producer of The Simpsons that's supposed to be commenting on popular culture? You remember when he came at me on Twitter saying you have to vote for Joe Biden because of immigrants in cages and that I don't give a shit about that? Well, guess who doesn't give a shit about that? Go to Dana Gould's Twitter feed and see how many times he's tweeted about this. See how many times he's tweeted about kids in cages. Go to Dana Gould's Twitter feed right now, the executive producer of the Simpsons, and see how many times he's tweeted about that. I'm going to guess 0, because he doesn't give a shit about immigrants. He doesn't give a shit about you not having health care. He doesn't give a shit about anything except his own shit-lib conscience when he's at brunch. So here it is. Biden's budget boosts ICE funding by $18 million. So there's where it was under Obama, $6.4 billion, Trump, $7 billion, 7.5. Look, the Democrats gave Trump almost an extra $1 billion. They gave him an extra $1 billion to do ICE. The Democrats did that. And here we go. So his last budget went down, actually. They decreased it. It actually went down from $8 billion to 7.9. And now Biden bumps it back up. Biden's bumping it back up. So I just want you to know this. Voting for Joe Biden has not been good for immigrants or for the ICE budget. It's been great for ICE. Biden administration, ICE, guess what? So Biden administration has now been enforcing ICE contracts that encourage forced labor for immigrants. Not kidding. Since Biden's been in office, ICE has signed a new contracts with private prison firms worth more than $260 million. The majority have been drafted since April. Hey, how can we make a situation like ICE even worse? I know. Let's put them all in private prisons and make them do forced prison labor. Isn't that fantastic? Even worse, ICE contracts include new language condoning the exploitation of those awaiting immigration hearings. Not condemning, condoning. Condoning. Detainee labor, meaning immigrants, shall be used in accordance, immigrant labor shall be used in accordance with the approved detainee work plan and shall be paid $1 a day. And how could you not add, and we're evil pieces of shit to the end of that sentence? How do you not add that? To take the profits out of our detention industry, Biden needs to order ICE to end these contracts. And he's not.
He likes prisons.
He likes prisons. To have Biden do that is about as likely as Biden fighting for Medicare for all, or a $15 minimum wage, or a public option, or reducing your student loan debt, or ending a war. Not going to happen. How Kamala Harris fought to keep nonviolent. So this is a pattern. So Kamala Harris did this when she was the attorney general here in California. As California Attorney General, she spent years subverting a 2011 Supreme Court ruling requiring the state to reduce its prison population. The overseeing judicial panel nearly found the state in contempt of court because she wouldn't. They had overcrowded prisons. They were ordered to release prisoners. She wouldn't do it, and her office argued in court that the reason why they weren't releasing prisoners was because it would upset their prison labor force. They're slave labors. That's why you got to stay in prison, because we need you to work as a slave.
We can't even get $15 minimum wage. They want more slave labor.
And she did this. She did this. She enforced slave labor in the prison system in California when she had power. A judge almost had to cite her and found her in contempt of court. Kamala Harris was a big advocate of prison slave labor, and now, as vice president, her and Joe Biden are using ICE slave labor. Cops are going to cop. Hey, so he's still giving Biden an A+? Is the squad still giving Biden an A? Are we still trying to push Joe Biden left? He's literally having slave labor now for immigrants. I bet he wants to do something, but that Senate parliamentarian is probably standing in his way. Maybe someday Joe Biden will be in a position of power, like the parliamentarian, and then he could get some shit done. Why doesn't Joe Biden run for parliamentarian?
Because it's an unelected position.
Oh, you mean they could just fire that parliamentarian and appoint a new one at any moment?
They could ignore them, fire them, yeah. But they're the most powerful person in the world right now.
So when Bernie Sanders and the squad, and they say that Joe Biden is just like FDR, they mean the internment camp part, right?
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, they just mean the bad stuff.
They don't mean the good part. They don't mean like Social Security and helping workers and a job program. They mean like locking up immigrants and Japanese people and stuff like that, right? That's what they mean, and being xenophobic? Yes. I think that's what they mean. What else could they possibly mean?
I mean, they might also mean he uses the same technology that FDR used, just in his personal life.
That's probably right. Yeah, that's probably right. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is where I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.